everyone, and welcome back to Cosmetic Chaos. Today we are going to do a little bit of a haul. I went a little bit mental on ColourPop's website and I have picked up some few other drugstore things. We're starting to see some brands in Canada that we didn't have before, so I have picked up a few things from those brands and tried them out. I have tried most of what is in here and I'm going to put inserts of the stuff that I have used today on my face so you can see it. If you're interested, there is some products from Catrice, from Essence, tons of stuff from ColourPop, as I said, and the entire Villians collection as well. So if you're interested in any of those things, that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to just start to grab from the box in no particular order. It's more like a basket than a box. I just grabbed everything that I have picked up recently. And let's start with the base product. So I actually picked up the Catrice HD Liquid Foundation. One of the claims on here is a little bit ridiculous. It says it's supposed to last for 24 hours, which is insane. That being said, I am wearing it today, as well as the ColourPop concealer and the ColourPop stick foundation. It's been a while since I filmed, can you tell? But for the most part, I really like this. It breaks up just around my nose just slightly, only at the end of the day, but for the most part throughout the day, it's actually pretty impressive. I do really like the coverage. It seems really natural, and if I use it over a pore filling primer, it is excellent. So it is like the dropper type applicator, you know, those ones those Instagram bitches love. But I don't particularly love that type of applicator, but it does the job. I have the shade Sand Beige. They just recently started selling this at Shoppers Drug Mart. I believe I paid $9.99 for it. I'll check their website and put it down here in the descriptor before I like misquote myself. But they did start having the Catrice brand on the end caps in Shoppers Drug Mart, so they have some of the line but not all of it. From what I saw, they only had about 10 shades. I was lucky enough to be one of those 10 shades, so can't really complain. Really liking this foundation, but I'm gonna have to check their overall shade range just for information's sake because I don't think it's that great. Since we are talking about foundations, I also picked up in the ColourPop haul the No Filter sticks. I wasn't sure what color I would be, so I picked up light 67N and light 40N. Reason being, I have quite a different skin tone in the summer as opposed to the winter. I go up and down about 6 to 10 shades depending on the line, but these are the two shades I got, and I am very much not super impressed with this foundation. So I think it's good to use in conjunction with another foundation, but on its own, I don't really feel like it gives me the coverage I want. I feel like it breaks up during the day and it really does not keep its shit together. Let's just say that. I have worn it 3 or 4 times. The lighter shade, which is this one, this is the 40N, yeah, light 40N, and this is the 67N. But truthfully, not the best coverage, not the best application. It's not emollient enough for me, in my personal opinion. I did use it in the demo as well, just to kind of give some additional coverage through my mouth because I felt like it wasn't covering enough. I do like the packaging and I like the idea of it. Stick foundations in general, I don't have a ton of luck with, but I thought maybe this one would do it, but nope, this makes me look like an oil slick by the end of the day. I'm gonna still keep giving it a try, maybe through the summer or maybe more into the dead of winter when my skin is really dry. It might help with the oil slickness. I also picked up 2 of the ColourPop No Filter concealers, one in the white shade, which is Fair 00, and then I picked up Light 12. I'm almost done this one, which is Light 18. And I actually thought, so this is the one that's almost gone. These are the 2 new ones. And I actually thought the light 12 was going to be darker because I didn't realize what shade I had this one in. But that's okay. I really like the ColourPop No Filter concealer. This is probably one of the first concealers I've finished. Like the stopper is actually out of this one at this point. in a very long time. I used to go through the Fit Me concealers and the Asia One concealers pretty consistently. And since I stopped using those because I've been trying other things, I haven't actually finished a concealer since then, but for the price, these are excellent. I know not everybody likes them. I personally really like them. It's what is underneath my eyes today. I did use the 18 shade. I haven't broken into these ones yet. I wanted the white shade to do base on eyeshadow because I want to try and really start to hone my craft on bright eyeshadow looks that are a little bit more defined. I love bright eyeshadow, but they always end up looking like this, which is very blended, very like different shades of the same color. And I want to be able to do like more cut crease type work, and I feel like the white ColourPop No Filter Concealer is going to help me with that. So pretty happy that those are here. Couple more complexion products. I did pick up on the suggestion of some girls at work the Nano Blur, again from Shoppers Drug Mart. Instant correction of the appearance of skin aging, including the look of fine lines, wrinkles, curls, feet, and enlarged pores. I do not like this at all. So this is supposed to be kind of like a primer, and it gives you the option, if you are wearing it with no foundation, to just put it on your skin. If you're wearing it with foundation, it says to put it over top of the foundation in the instructions. Like, I'm not joking. For best results, follow these application methods. Without makeup, apply over moisturized skin. With makeup, pat gently over, and over is bolded, liquid foundation, or under pressed or loose powder. Do you want to know what this does when you put it over your foundation? It picks your foundation up. It's not for me. I don't like it. This was $20 and I wish I could take it back. Sorry, Chanel. I appreciate the suggestion. I am going to try it on days I don't wear any makeup and I only wear a little bit of loose powder and see if that does actually help like even out my skin tone and the little bit of wrinkles I've got going on, just to see kind of what happens. But as for a primer over your foundation, it's not for me. I also grabbed the new Essence Loose Setting Powder in the banana shade. I use this in the demo as well. I'm just really liking loose powders lately. I finally finished that Nude by Nature palette powder that I was using, and I've been kind of using this instead. And I have moved away slowly from pressed powders and more towards loose, so I don't have to powder my whole face. So I do have this on my forehead, on my chin, and underneath my eyes, but not across my cheeks or anything. It's been really awesome. It's only about $5 and it is 6 grams of powder. I also appreciate that for once, somebody did a powder that actually has big enough holes that the powder can come through it, which I feel like is very heavily underappreciated. It's very finely milled and it smells like nothing. I'm looking at you, Coty Airspun Stinky Powder. And I believe this is my last complexion product, which is the Catrice Cosmetics Long Lasting Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. So in my demo, I did actually use this after my concealer but before my foundation because my skin is a little tiny bit dry right now. I find my foundation is not sitting the way I like it to. So I have sprayed my face with this first. So after primer, after concealer, before foundation, let it dry down just a little bit and then put the Catrice foundation on, and I think it looked great and worked out fairly well. You guys can let me know what you think down below. Okay, so I'm going to go through the rest of the ColourPop products and everything else outside of the Villians collection, and then I'm going to do the Villians collection at the end. And I'm already smiling about it because I'm a loser, but I haven't loved a collection the way I love the Villians collection, I don't think ever. Like, I have really loved a lot of products in my time on YouTube in the 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this, but damn, that ColourPop collection just smashed it out of the park. But before we get to that, let's talk about this. This is the ColourPop BFF Mascara, and this is the Left on Red. So it is quite red, and truthfully I wanted it because it was a little bit something different. I've had blue, I've had purple. I wanted to see what a red mascara would do for me. And the other day I did a look where it was the red mascara, and I just did a very sheer wash of like light champagne-ish pink, and in the crease I did a little bit of a darker red. And lots of people commented on how I did my makeup so much differently, like I did no eyeliner. I really wanted the mascara to be the focus of the look, but people couldn't tell enough. A lot of people asked me what I did differently or if I forgot to put mascara on, and obviously that's not the look you're going for. So I feel like I have mascara on my eyelid. So I feel like I like the idea of it. I just wish it was slightly more opaque, or even if they had put like a slightly darker undertone in it so that when I put it on, it actually looked like I was wearing mascara. Once people looked closely at it, they did say that they liked it, so that's a good thing, and I don't mind how it applied, but I don't think it's something I would use all the time, which my original intent was for it to be like a new signature type look. I just threw this one in here. I got a new MAC lipstick in the shade Style Shocked, and it is a really nice orange red shade in their new powdered matte formula, and I actually got this from Back to MAC. I finally took back a whole bunch of MAC empties. It's been a long time since I've had a MAC lipstick, but I do really like this color. It doesn't stay the way the other mattes stayed on my lips, but it was much more comfortable. I will definitely say that. Okay, another product I had picked up from the drugstore was the Essence Glamo Camo eyeshadow palette. So I have a bunch of these, the original releases from these, and this color scheme was so much better than the other ones that came out, like the Spice and the one that looked like a cassette. I've done a look with the green so far. I haven't done anything with the browns, but this was only about $9, and it, if anybody remembers, I did a look with the Makeup Maniacs palette, that bright lime green and a really dark purple black lip, and lots of people loved it and I really loved it, and I actually recreated that look with this palette, and that was from the drugstore, and the other one is a indie brand. So like I really can't complain. If you really like greens, this is definitely a good option. I have no opinion on the top yet, unfortunately. So I will just swatch a couple of these so you can see. They definitely need primer to help them, but those are just some finger swatches on the back of my hand. Do you one better on the shimmer, because I didn't barely put my finger in it. Okay, so I also picked up the Just My Luck palette from ColourPop, as well as the It's My Pleasure. I have these versions from Huda Beauty, and I don't reach for either one of them. And then I kept hearing how much better these were than the Huda little 9-pan palette. So obviously, being me, and I had to know, I went and picked them up, and I have already reached for each of these probably about 20 times more than I've ever reached for the Huda Beauty ones. So a lot of people always say to me like, oh, it's cheap, it sucks. Like, no, the price of a product doesn't make it good. These are amazing. I am wearing Just My Luck as well as the Misunderstood palette on my eyes today, and this one I had paired with the Misunderstood palette as well. So I don't want to get too into the Villains collection yet, but I will touch on this one now. This is the Misunderstood palette, and also what I have on my eyes today. So I have Facile and Jetsam on my eyes today, as well as some pairings from Just My Luck. And I feel like these three palettes pair so beautifully together. Where this one lacks in matte shades to kind of complete the colorful looks, these definitely pick up that slack because they have mattes as well as shimmers, and all in the same kind of color story. I will insert a picture I did of using this, a look using this palette with the It's My Pleasure palette as well. I really like to pair palettes. I'm totally not that person that's like, oh my god, this one palette can't complete a full look, so I hate it. It's just not me. It's not realistic in my type of makeup. I have a million palettes, so I like to mix and match them. I actually should do a video on the ones that I think pair the best. But just to kickstart that video, as a spoiler alert, these ones definitely pair very well. So just carrying on with this, I've used every shade in this palette. I have used the dark blue, I think I have actually used everything in this palette except for Revenge, which is a black shade that is a little bit patchy, if I'm being honest. It is like a black glitter, and I don't know anybody that uses a matte black shade with glitter in it. Every time I hear somebody talk about that shade, they're like, why do they even make this? Just to do a few more swatches. So there's a purple and a gold from this palette. Very low effort. I think even though it didn't have as many Although I feel like it didn't have as many colored mattes as I would have liked it to have, I actually do feel like it's a really great palette. I found myself reaching for it every single day, and I feel like nobody does palettes like this anymore, where they're not super fluffy, it's not just warm, it's not just cool. It was a good mix of everything, very bright colors, the opportunity to do neutral looks. And I know people say like, you can do any kind of look with this, but you actually can get like a really dramatic or a really neutral look with this. And I'm not that person that sits with a palette and like thinks up all these creative ways to use it. I legitimately find my like 4 to 5 colors in that palette. Those are the ones I always reach for. And I never feel inspired to really delve really deep and see how many different looks I can get out of it. Like, I would like to be the person that does the 3 looks 1 palette, but I'm just not. I'm not saying I couldn't, I just don't do it because I get out of it what I like, and that's kind of the end of it. But I really loved the concept. The packaging is beautiful, and I'm really happy with, in general, the whole ColourPop order, but these 3 were definitely my standout items. So I also picked up the Through My Eyes palette, which is the I Love Sarah and ColourPop. And it is like kind of a jungly theme, but we're again kind of back to that. It's just some warm tones and some warm neutrals with a couple pops of color. I do like this, it's very pretty. Could I have done without it? Probably. It kind of reminds me of the Kathleen Lights palette, but it is hella pigmented. Like, that green teal is bananas. I've only used this once, so I don't have too many opinions on it. When I did use it, I believe I've been really digging green. I'm wearing crazy amounts of green makeup lately, like almost 3 to 4 times a week. And that's not like me. I'm normally all over the place. And I've been using Moody, Emerald Dream, and Euphoric out of this palette the most. Okay, so with the Villians collection, which we will now touch on a little bit more in depth, it came with the palette. It had the glitters, which are these guys, and I truthfully don't really have an opinion on these yet because I haven't used them. Super pretty, but I love the packaging. The packaging on all of this stuff is so brilliant. I really love it. So each one of the highlights, these are the Super Shock highlights. The Super Shock highlights are normally in like the sealed container, just like the Super Shock shadows, but these are actually in a pan. So I was kind of surprised at that. So you have the Maleficent, the Evil Queen, just like very gold. Again, apologies, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Dr. Facilier. Cruella, which is like a white. Hades, which is like a champagne kind of yellow duochrome. And then you have the bright purple, which is Ursula. So if I had to choose a favorite one of these, I actually think I'm kind of between Hades and, yeah, I would have to say Hades and and Cruella, which I feel sad knowing that my favorite is Cruella because I'm such a crazy dog person. But let me just swatch these for you. Sorry, this is Hades and Cruella is on the top. So they're both similar, but those are definitely my 2 favorite. Ursula is a little bit more on the colored side for sure. Ursula is super duper purple. Dr. Facilier, we'll do these on the other hand. And Maleficent. Actually, Maleficent is beautiful as well. Big fan. So, Dr. Facilier, Evil Queen, and Maleficent. So if you look at these shades, they're beautiful. I like how they look. If I remember correctly, I grabbed Evil Queen or Maleficent. I think I did Maleficent on my cheeks today. It's very subtle. It just kind of like sinks into the skin. I would definitely buy more of the Super Shock highlights when I run through some of these. I've been really partial to products that are like not liquid, but not like cream, but also not powder. So the formula of Super Shock I'm kind of into because it's not cream, but it's not powder and it's not really liquid. It's like a jelly kind of. It looks the most natural on the skin and doesn't accent my pores in any way. Another thing I tried in this collection for the first time was the Jelly Shock shadows. So I've been using these in conjunction with the palette a ton. This is the first time I have gotten like the singles because I'm not a singles girl. I never use them. I'm the worst for wanting singles and never using them. But these are such a great pairing. Like whoever curated this collection did an amazing job. I have no complaints at all. I didn't think I was gonna like this formula. I thought it was gonna be super annoying. I'm using the Not Today Jelly Much eyeshadow on my lids in conjunction with the palettes that I discussed. And it just gives that something extra. And you'll see it in the demo, the difference between using it and not using it is quite significant, but it is not in a way where it like alters the entire look. It just really punches it up. So I will just show you, they come with like a little stopper that you pull out and they're literally like Jello. They don't swatch amazingly in my opinion. They also don't like, they're not the easiest thing to apply, but the payoff when you get them to apply is pretty intense. Like, that was a lot on my finger, but like look at that. You really need the right tools for the job for this one. I have been using it on my finger to apply to the eye, or I have been using a very flat synthetic brush. I will do the purple as well because the purple is so pretty. This one is Spindle. This is from the Maleficent collection. The other thing I really like that ColourPop did with this was they made little mini collections. So you didn't have to buy everything. You could just pick your favorite villain and grab it. The 4 pieces? Yeah, the 4 pieces for that villain. So that one is Spindle, the purple. Like, look how pretty it is. ColourPop really does a lot of unique releases, and I really appreciate that, especially for their price points. Guys, you remember when I was like such a hater of ColourPop and I would not order from them? I do, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I may have gone too far with the glitter. Yeah, it's still in my hand. It's over. It's over. So I did touch on these quickly, but I don't have many thoughts on them. These are the Glitterly Obsessed Body Glitters in Anomaly and Do I Look Like I Care? So I haven't used these yet. They tell you not to use them on the eye, but like, in the words of Raw Christy Beauty, you're not my real dad and I'll do what I want. I also grabbed one random Super Shock shadow in this crazy lime color because I've been really loving lime this year and wanted to see what it was like. And it's pretty great, I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely gonna get busted out this week because it hasn't been yet. We are coming down to the bottom of my barrel. Okay, for those of you that are new to my channel, something you need to know about me is I really hate lip gloss. It has never been my jam, but the last like 6 months, I'm slowly letting lip gloss creep back into my life. This started with the Fenty Gloss Bombs. They are excellent. I strongly recommend if you are not a lip gloss person, those are amazing. The Villians collection came with 6 lip glosses. These are the Ultra Glossy Lips. And we have the shade Hot Headed. We have Bad Apple, Shadow Man, My Pet, Sad But True, and Puppies. Obviously, me being a crazy dog woman, Puppies is my favorite. So I had tried these without taking the foundation off my lips the first time and truthfully really didn't like it. It was really like gloopy, but it just hadn't reacted well with the foundation. So I'm going to do some quick swatches, and unfortunately some of the brushes are starting to fray just because I'm a savage when I put them back in the container. But this one is Puppies, Shadow Man, Bad Apple, which I really do like. I was wearing it the other day and got lots of compliments. Sad But True is the one I didn't really like. That was like gloopy on my mouth, and that is this one. It's more just like clear with, I can't even get it to pick up really. It's clear with like a whitish shift. Definitely not my favorite. It's more just like a holographic kind of sheen. This one here is Hot Headed. And that one on the end is My Pet. I wouldn't necessarily have chosen these colors for myself to order them, but I've actually been really liking Bad Apple and Puppies, and I also had Hot Headed the other day, and all 3 of these I have been liking. The other ones, which are Shadow Man, My Pet, and sad but true, I haven't really been reaching for too much yet because I've only had the collection for about a week and a half. I feel like this is one of those hauls where I legitimately just like blacked out and added all the things to my cart. That's okay, right? You're not judging me? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the lipsticks, and I have liked the ColourPop lipstick formula since they redid it to the... And I have liked the ColourPop lipstick formula pretty much since they released it. And I'm not talking the lippy sticks, I'm talking the real lipsticks. So I intentionally made myself a coffee in my sad truth of my life that I work hard so my dog can have a better life mug. I intentionally wanted to have a drink so I could talk through this video, talk about the lipsticks at the end, and see how it was wearing. So I am wearing Evil Queen today, and I have been drinking from my mug just slightly. It's not coming off too bad on my mug. And I've been talking for about 25 minutes at this point, and it doesn't seem like anything is going awry. When I put it on initially, I did feel like I would see some bleed, but so far so good. No bleed whatsoever. And I also feel like it's pretty comfortable. It's not really like going into the lip line, whatever we call this, that ends up as butthole lips. Each one of the lipsticks has Villians imprinted into the edge, so I will just swatch all of these for you. I won't swatch Evil Queen because it's on my lips as we speak. So Cruella is an orange red. Dr. Facilier is a mauve brown. I have been wearing this one on and off as well, which has been nice. Ursula is a dark purple, which I don't know how I will like when it goes on. It did take about 4 swipes to make it not patchy. That's too many as far as I'm concerned. This guy is Hades, more of a peachy neutral. I've been wearing this one a lot too. It actually has a bit of use on the end of it, where the other ones are for the most part brand new. And then we have Maleficent, which is a purple pink, kind of like a fuchsia purple on the end there. So I really like the ColourPop lipstick formula. Each one of the lids has the different Villians insignia on it. These are kind of different compared to other ColourPop lipsticks. The other ColourPop lipsticks have stars all over them and are gold packaging. If you are still with me, thank you for hanging out for this long. I know I can really talk my ass off when it comes about makeup, so I appreciate it. But I also picked up 3 of the Kathleen Lights ColourPop loose pigments from her new Zodiac collection. So I picked up the Scales, which is Libra, which is my star sign. I picked up the Maiden because I liked the color, and I picked up the Bull because I liked the color. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of these products, if you've tried them, or if you have any suggestions on how I can use them or use them better. And I just really blacked out. I don't know what happened to my low buy for the year, but here we are. Really loving everything for the most part. There has been a couple things I didn't totally love, but I'm still working through them, so that is good. If you like what you saw here, don't forget to subscribe before you go. Give me a thumbs up on this video if you liked it, so I know to make more content like this, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye!